What is going on, All Terrain Nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drives, or a Bronco that we don't get to drive, Kelly, this is your All Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, and tonight we've got big people in the house. We've got, if you see this hat on, you know what it means. We got Mr. Tim with a pickup truck plus SUV plus guys. It's like Disney Plus. You're getting a little bit extra. You're streaming with Tim. You get that little bit of extra. But Tim, what's going on, buddy?
I am frankly getting ready for a trip. Two trips.
Where are you heading off to?
So it rained here today. It was kind of rainy, cold, and it's going to follow me all the way to Wisconsin.
Oh, you didn't get to golf today,
Mama, and it's the day we're there is supposed to be 58 degrees, pouring down rain at times.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm coming back on Friday. I'm home Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Woo!
And then
Memorial
I'm gone
Day weekend.
for 5 days to Texas.
Oh man, you got all the fun going on. I gotta
join for 2 weeks. Fan vacation for 2 weeks. Home for 2 weeks.
I've got to join them.
Yeah, we got to join Mama.
Yeah.
But then you have to go to the Midwest.
I'm from the Midwest. I mean,
I know, but then you actually have to like go up there.
That's true.
I've actually never been. They've always done a road track, the track course, and I don't care about track at all. So never gone. But then you have an off-road portion, which should be really muddy and good. But I brought clothes and boots to get soaked in.
Extra clothes, extra boots.
Yes.
Yeah, I will say I'm very happy that Tawa is moving to a actual off-road little park this year. So that's going to be kind of fun. I don't know if you know that or not, Tim. They talked about it.
Although we're sad it's not going to be in Bee Cave again because we really liked Bee Cave.
Yeah.
BK is pricey. No,
but it was a fun little town.
I don't look at that stuff until I absolutely have to, or if Jill forces me to.
He's big guy, remember?
Oh, I forgot. He's the guy. He's the boss.
He doesn't have to plan that. He just goes, where am I going next week?
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's not quite how that works. No, I think about this stuff quite a bit, and I have to plan out where I'm going to be and what I'm going to do and whether it's worth my time. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you sports cars are not worth the time, but it was really fun to drive. So
yeah, nobody watched that stuff. So give me the Bronco update. I'm kind of dying to know.
Well,
I mean, I know a little bit, but I don't know the whole story now.
Well, so
we've not sent it.
No, we've not
wheeled it.
It's been a street queen basically.
Yeah.
It's been not even technically off-road. It's been some grass a few times for parking in some.
And we've not modded it.
Not really, but so 8,600 miles on it, and I started hearing some clicking, and I thought, well, maybe it's a rock because those Goodyear tires they have, there's just a lot of they just like rocks, and I'm sure you remember from your time in one last year that they just
see how many miles she has on her.
There's like magnets for rocks. And I thought, well, maybe it's just a rock. And so I went and cleared all those out and still kept hearing clicking. And I'm like, I know the sound. And I didn't want to, it's a sound I don't want to know. But it's like when, I don't know, Tim, if you ever remember the old manual hubs that you had to turn, but sometimes it would be like half turn and it was like the axle was sort of trying to grab you. Just hear like a click, click, click. That's what it sounded like. And it was just barely noticeable, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So finally, I looked under the truck, and well, it was oil and grease under there. And I'll pull up. I thought I had the video up.
8,659 miles.
Wow, it's not like you're keeping track or anything, right?
Well, I know that if she gets a whole bunch of miles on her, we know what happened.
Well, yeah, they're really wanting to party down with our.
Dave did say that everybody was kind of like, man. It's a good looking Bronco.
Yeah, they did like it. Let's see. So here is the video from what it looked like. As you can see, this is just where the lower control arm connects. You can see just a lot of grease, and it looks like a vehicle that's honestly has about 40,000 miles on it right there. And well, here, we'll play this. Dang it. Hold on. I've got a
DeGroot X in the house.
We've got Danny in the house.
Danny
here.
Danny here.
Man, Dan, you should drop in too, man. We'll just have everybody pick on me about a Bronco. Let's do this right. Sorry, now I'm like Tim. I'm over here trying to produce a show.
Hey. There
we go. Now you can hear
Knock it off.
Well, maybe it's leaking.
So there is a common on these Broncos now that we're learning is these boots. They're having issues with the boots. The seal's not working properly, and they're starting to throw grease out of there. And at first I thought, okay, that's probably what's happening, but from inspection you can see everything looks nice and dry. A little concerning that there's so much rust actually on the
that's what I was gonna comment on your video. So we've noticed that a lot with Ford vehicles. Like my Power Boost had a bunch of rust on it, and we've been calling these press vehicles a lot, especially Ford, and they have a considerable amount of rust. Now, it's surface rust, not a big deal. That I get that. I'm fine. Fine. But for a vehicle at 8,600 miles, and I've said to people all the time, the customers' expectations have changed. And so if this was a $20,000 Bronco, who cares, right? But you start talking 50, 60, 70,000 Broncos, then you start having these, rust becomes a bigger issue, right?
Yeah. No, definitely. And what it is, they're just not coating these for whatever reason. I don't know if they're just not powder coating this stuff, what's going on. But no, and you can see across here, this is the actual diff itself. You can see the outer, and that's not concerning to me. And I've not seen anything really on the frame yet. So luckily we're okay there. So this is what I was inspecting.
CVs, but all the joints look.
You can see up here, the other boot looks fine. Nothing real concerning there.
Dry, so it's not grease, but
let's see if I can get a good pause here.
Back
well, it looks like here, I don't know if you guys can see the little mouse. So it looks like there's a little bit of droplet there. But as you can see, this is wet.
Diff is definitely oily. You can see that.
And you like this, you can't really tell when I pause it, but the skid plate right here is definitely wet. And I think I got
back here. Right here, you can see
you can see this is the sway disconnect bar. You can see grease just all over it, or oil. And yeah, you can see, and it smelled just like gear fluid. And once you know what gear fluid smells like, it's just a stinky.
It almost smells like diff fluid.
Yeah, you can't unsmell it.
Yeah. So right there, it's hard when I pause it, but there was it was dripping down. So it's definitely was leaking. And what they think is happening, and
somehow you can.
I was gonna say, so a minute. So you shoot this video, and then you take it to the dealership is that same day after?
The next day.
Okay, so has the dealership called you yet?
They have not. And of course, the thing about dealers right now, they're so far behind with everything. They said at minimum 3 days. So I'm hoping to hear something tomorrow.
You told me 2.
No, I said 3.
You said a couple.
Sorry. Redneck talk. That's up to 5 days. Okay.
So, I mean, the bigger story here is you guys had planned a trip.
Yes.
And you had planned some stuff, and then you come home and you see this. Now, how did you find this? Was there oil spots in the ground?
No, not at all.
No,
so
there's no drips.
I just happened to look when I heard that clicking. I definitely knew it was something with the diff. And I called my connection at Ford and said, "Hey man, I think I've got a diff going out in this thing. Clearly I have a trip in 3 weeks." And he was like, "Hey, just let the dealership know. We can, if it's in stock, we will push that to get to your dealership," which the dealer in turn didn't like hearing, because I'm sure they get a lot of pissed off Karens. Sorry, Kelly. That constantly say, "Oh, I can do this and that." And literally my connection to Ford is like, "No, if that's at map, we will have it crated, shipped down there if it needs a new diff." And so I don't know what's going on with this thing right now as far as the dealership. Like I said, I think there's a good shot there. There it is. You can see fluid. But what they think is happening to these, the bearings in the rear pinion are not being set properly, and it's causing them to start pushing out, and in turn pushing the seal out and allowing fluid to escape. And if the fluid gets too low, obviously you'll just burn up the front gear, because my understanding, I'm pretty sure with this one, I know it is with other brands, the new way the diffs work is they're always turning. So they don't activate four-wheel drive until ABS basically clamps down on the front of the CVs and causes it to actually engage. So if this thing were to run too long, no, you definitely we would have burned the front diff out of this thing, and a lot of trouble. But it is concerning that so few miles on this thing. And I'm not a special person here. I've read multiple reports that the same things happen to other people.
So where are you at with this Bronco? I mean, the news today was Ford still had people waiting months and months to get one, right?
They still have 21s, Tim, they're trying to deliver.
Right. I mean, so where are you at? I mean, and then you have a problem like this.
So, a lot, I mean, you've had vehicles that clearly this was I'm going to call this a first generation vehicle. I hate that they call it a 6th generation because there's nothing about this generational. It's just a brand new platform for Ford. And I'm okay with it because as basically a long-term review vehicle for us, we not hope for this stuff because I don't hope anybody's vehicle breaks down, but these are the kind of things we expect and we want to cover. Clearly not as like, oh man, we can just make money off this, but it's just something we want to cover about this vehicle. And so I'm okay with it. I mean, the timing obviously is horrible because I don't know that we'll be able to make it to Moab now, which is, that's a 10-day, it was a 10-day planned trip. You're off work for it. I have vacation scheduled with my real job right now.
We're meeting another family.
Yeah, we were supposed to meet another family in Moab. And yeah, so I don't know what's going on with it, man. And till the dealers, till they diagnose it, who knows? The service, I will say the service tech did look under it and he said, it's the seal and it's out. But dude, Tim, this is amazing. So when we had a Nissan Titan, so we had a Nissan Titan and the service center had no idea. They didn't even know it had a 5-year warranty. I'm always amazed your front of house has no clue about the vehicle. Guess what? Ford dealership here tried to tell me about the new soft top that were going to be on the Broncos that are fastbacks. And I was like, oh, you're talking about the aftermarket one? Oh, no, these are standard now. And then all this other, he just was bad information after bad information about the vehicle. And I was just like, are you effing kidding me, man? Like,
it is crazy. So I had the opportunity today, and it was kind of an off the cuff thing. A gentleman who's a new viewer of the channel reached out to me on Facebook, and he wasn't good at texting. He wanted to talk. So 2 hours later on the phone.
Oh boy, sounds like our conversations, Tim.
His local dealership couldn't help him with this truck at all.
Really?
He bought a new Tundra, and they couldn't figure out the infotainment system. They didn't have the answers to any questions he had.
Wow.
And I was explaining to him, like, I'm like, not every sales guy gets a chance to do training.
Yes.
Right.
A lot of times you get thrown in the back of the house, you get thrown in the front, you just don't have the chance to do all the training stuff. So, a lot of people watch my videos and your videos from salesmen to learn about the vehicle. They're doing research too. And so, but I thought this guy was interesting because he made a comment about the grill that he got was not the grill he expected, because he had seen something on the dealership website. And I said, well, did you watch any videos before you bought your truck? Because I've covered different grills. Everybody's covered different grills in this thing. And he's like, no. He goes, I didn't look at all. I went to dealership site. And he goes, I bitched at Toyota. Toyota should have more control of dealerships, making them put the right information on the websites. And I was like, but dealerships are franchises.
Yeah.
You can't tell franchises what to do.
Right.
And so I'm like, there's this, I think people are starting to understand that dealerships aren't. So my local Toyota dealer in town is not Toyota.
Wait, you have a local dealership?
I do.
Because no, I don't mean that funnily.
No,
because
it's the
Tim's town is a very small. It's a very small town. And speaking of big mouths, I mean, hi Dan.
What's up, guys?
It's okay. Yeah, we have one. That's when I had that trouble with the truck. Was they flew the engineers in because they knew the guys in town had never even seen the truck.
Right.
Oh,
man, Dan's getting all twisty over there.
Yeah, that was the twisty bits, as we said.
I got spun out too.
Well, welcome to the show, Dan. It's been a minute.
I know it's been a hot minute. It's good to see all you guys. It's been forever since
I feel like I've had a new vehicle and it's broken down already. Last time I chatted with you.
I knew that as soon as I saw it break down, I wanted to hop in here and give you some shit.
Well, you're a Ford guy though, Dan. Remember, you're a Ford guy.
I know. I bought the correct one. Apparently, you didn't.
Wow.
True.
Thanks.
True.
Get the tag out of your
right? Stab straight in.
And they were asking for you last week, Dan, and now they're not going to ask for you.
Well, good.
No, I will say though, like, yeah, I've seen it because I know trainers especially with Nissan. I know some trainers that go out, and dealers get the turnover for salesmen is so quick sometimes that before the trainer can get back in, it's suddenly you're off to a new, you got new employees. So I can understand maybe why dealers don't necessarily know what's going on. I don't know.
I can see the hair sticking up on his arms here. He's like, I was on here for 45 seconds. I already got called out by you pansy ass.
Luke.
Yeah, Dan, where is that race truck, buddy?
It's gone.
It's gone. Where'd it go?
Gone. I'm moving. I'm in the process of moving. That's why I'm in the garage right now, cleaning up and watching this junk show. Just dying a slow death. My race truck's at my buddy's shop. I'm putting all my parts into boxes.
Well, it's a Nissan, so you're gonna need those parts, buddy.
Yeah, I will. No, I got lots of spares.
I was gonna say you probably have a ton of spares, like
but it's
alternators.
Not leaking oil.
That's good.
Oh,
is it?
That's progress.
I know people over in that area, Dan. I can make sure it leaks oil if we need to.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop my mic.
No, but I will say the diff thing is aggravating, Tim. But it's a new vehicle. These things are to be expected. Obviously, nobody plans a pandemic around a vehicle launch. Quality across the board. I've seen quality across the board, and everything in my life now just seems to be horrible. Whether it be at your local fast food place, which like quality there is like gone, unless it's Chick-fil-A.
I'll be honest. Even our margaritas tonight were not like they used to be. I'll just be honest.
The margarita snob here.
Dave, I will say, because I used to be a BMW mechanic.
Yes.
That that
you're gonna stab me in the back on that one too.
Every car has its own little thing, and there's service recalls for everything. There'll probably be some service recall for that car. You know, there probably is a ton already. But like any vehicle, it's gonna have its little hiccups, and you know, if it's a seal that's not being installed properly, they probably caught it and they didn't say anything. You know, there's not enough of them that are affected that they're going to put a recall out for it. Maybe a service bulletin. So when they're in there, like, oh, look, your car has a service bulletin. So we're going to do this while it's in here for an oil change, kind of a deal. Right. That's across the board. Every vehicle manufacturer does that. Like, crazy.
The problem, Dan, right now is they can't get the parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're talking. I know there was somebody who reached out to me. He said he's been waiting over a month and a half for the same seal.
Wow.
Yeah,
no, that sucks.
It's tough. I mean, people are asking about the lift kit for the Tundra that announced last November. I checked with Toyota corporate today. They're like, hopefully this fall.
Maybe.
You know, it's like, and then the step I put on my truck, people are like, well, how'd you order that? I'm like, I didn't. I bitched so much they sent it to me. And it's like they can just now get them. I think the guy told me he just got his first one a week ago. They finally got some stuff in stock, but it's tough.
And I will say the Ford representative that I contacted about this problem, he was like, hey, we don't want an unhappy YouTuber. They're very, like, whether you're 100 people or not, they listen to what's going on. Trust me. I'm sure Tim, well, I know for a fact Tim has Toyota engineers watching his streams all the time in his videos. And
yeah, I'm going to go to Toyota headquarters in about 2 weeks. I can't wait for those conversations.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
I had a private conversation with their engineers 2 weeks ago about the infotainment system. You know,
can you replay that back for us? So it was private.
Private.
Yeah. And that was a fun conversation.
Nice.
Man. But if you're in your position, you're not doing your job unless you ask. It's same with me with Ford. Like, I've had people go, "Are you pissed off about this?" No. I mean, it just stuff happens.
Nobody asked how I feel about it. And whose Bronco is it?
Well, I don't know. Ooh. I don't know anymore.
Everybody knows.
Well,
here's the thing.
I'd be pissed off for timing reasons. Like it really is the worst time. Like the timing thing would piss me off so bad.
Yeah. So that's the thing for me. Like and everybody knows, like, I love this vehicle, like, more than any other vehicle that I've ever driven. I don't know. It's just, maybe it's the time we spent waiting for it. Maybe, I don't know. I love it. And I drive it every day. I don't drive a ton, but I do. But yeah, like, for me, it really sucks because I really like this thing, but it really sucks because of the timing. Because here we are supposed to go to Moab.
June 9th, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're supposed to leave like the night of the 9th and get started on our trip. And like, we are how many days out from that? Yeah. Like less than 2 weeks now.
Yeah. Or right at 2 weeks. Dave's promising to let you
TikTok.
Yeah, I know. So TikTok, right?
Oh, Danny, you're all breaking up, buddy. What's that?
Must be in I love the frozen face.
I can't imagine how frustrating it is for
Nope.
My back? Am I here?
Danny and his shitty Wi-Fi.
No.
Is that why you're moving, Danny? Because the Wi-Fi sucks?
Yes. That's exactly why he's moving.
Yes.
Are they even stealing that out in California now? There's the guys with buckets that by your house just stealing the Wi-Fi.
I think so. I think so.
So we heard you for a little bit, Danny. So what did you say? Is it more frustrating? What?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Oh, I was saying I understand how Kelly's so upset because you were planning on taking your truck off road, and now that your truck is broken, your truck is waiting top road.
But you know what's not broken? The Jeep Gladiator.
We're not driving the Jeep Gladiator Moab.
No.
The rule in this house is anything over 3 hours, it's not happening in the Jeep.
Unfortunately, that thing is so hard to sit in, man. Oh my God. Yeah. So Dan, what's the latest and greatest, man? Obviously, your truck, yours a little bit on hold. Sorry.
Yeah,
guys,
it really bummed me out because I was like dead set on racing before I kind of like got full tilt into like selling our house and buying a new one. And I had a big old to-do list. Truck runs good. My testing session out of the King Hammers went good. I jumped it and burned it around, and it was super rad. And it wasn't happen. Like trying to buy and sell a house, and then trying to get the wife into spending a bunch of, probably cost me about $3,000 just to get the truck going, and then another couple grand to get into the race.
I feel like I'm talking to Max Headroom over here.
I kind of just I'm not going to be racing until October.
Well, cool, Dan. Well, Danny, I hate to do this. I'm gonna drop you, buddy. Okay, I appreciate you being on, but hey, Tuesday night.
So I'm just in the water.
I know. What's Tuesday nights? Let's get you on the happy hour show.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll fix my wife.
All right, dude.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
Later. All right, Tim. Before we were rudely interrupted by these SoCal guys, like Kelly was saying though, yeah, the timing is upsetting. But as far as like, I can't be mad. I mean, we have a warranty with a vehicle, like everybody does. You buy a new vehicle, you get a nice warranty.
Now, if we were at 36,001 mile, we'd be having a much different conversation right now.
Yes, then pissed off Dave would come. And the thing that really, I think, more that upsets me about anything is I'm back at the dealership that I bought the thing from, which I had a horrible experience with. Will they sell it out from under me while it's sitting there? I don't know. Maybe. Will it be missing parts? Who knows, man? But
that's why they didn't even mileage. I took a screenshot, so now
they didn't even offer us a loaner vehicle, which was very surprising.
Yeah.
Does your dealerships do that up there?
No. Well, Toyota did when they sent the engineers up, but they just don't have any vehicles. I mean, but that was funny because the guy's like, so they sent the engineers up, and I know Toyota corporate called them. They'd all, he's like, here, I have an Avalon. It's all warmed up, and it was sitting there idling and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh boy, it's an Avalon.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
let me go get my grandparents.
I had a Land Rover Defender at home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just need to get home. I have a $100,000 Land Rover Defender. I think it was 80, whatever the deal was.
Yeah.
Versus that Avalon's a fine car. It's a fine car, but I don't cover cars. And I was like, okay. So I drove to the grocery store and drove home. I mean, that's in the area, but and then I parked it and drove the Defender.
How'd the groceries do in the Avalon?
It was touch and go for a little bit. Touch and go.
I'm sure.
Well, so Tim, how is your audience with Bronco, man? You haven't talked about Bronco in a while over there.
No, the Bronco videos did really well for us.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed going topless for the week, which I imagine that's what Kelly likes about it. So,
of course, what woman wouldn't want to go topless for a week?
So, yeah, I knew that was going to throw in there. No, I mean, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Gateway joke.
Drove the heck out of it, and I had it for the week. And then Jill's done a ton of videos with it. And there's some discussion of their video because she had a bunch of road noise with the soft top, and it was interesting. I'm not sure how it worked out. I
would like to disagree with her assessment of the soft top versus hard top because
maybe not with her video though. Maybe she did. That's his point.
No, I know.
Road noise with the soft top.
I'd poked the bear with Jill privately about that, and I was like, you think you need a better mic on that for one thing, but that's not. Jill's about the reporting. It's not about the setup sometimes.
Yeah, no, I mean it's done well. I wish there was a little bit more to it by this time. Like I wish the Bronco Raptor was out. I wish there was, some more stuff we could do with it.
Are you surprised that they haven't even released horsepower numbers or anything about that? They literally have sold a vehicle that they've released no numbers about.
At this point, I'm not. I mean, so I'm currently truck shopping, and I don't know how I'm gonna end up with, and I'm not mystified by what is going on out there. The industry is so crazy. Like so I have the Tundra and I want to buy something else, and so I can't find a Blue Book value on this thing because it's so new, and KB doesn't have it, Edmunds doesn't have it. So anyways, I reached out on Facebook a little bit and emailed a couple dealers I know, and my local dealer in town called me, and they called his local store in Sheridan, that's local Toyota dealership. The Toyota dealer in here is not the same as the Ford dealer I know. It's a network of dealers.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, he goes, it's so new, you can't find pricing for this stuff. But then I said, well, he goes, what are you going to buy? And I'm like, I don't know, because I don't know what's even available at this point. Like that's a crazy thing. It's like Wednesday, I'm going to drive the Lightning, and I'm going to drive the Tundra Capstone, and I'm going to drive it's a couple of things. I think probably the ZR2 there I've already driven, but I'll be checking those things out. But it's like here's a variety of trucks that you can't buy, but I'm going to review, or do a quick thing. And so I don't know.
Yeah, I've thought, like we've talked about getting rid of the Gladiator for some other little truck, but I'm like, I don't know what I could get that makes sense. Nissan's sending us over a Frontier for a week loaner vehicle, and finally I'm in the Nissan's good graces again somehow. That they will give me vehicles again, which hopefully other manufacturers open up their doors a little bit. But
I can't even get press loans right now. I was looking,
really.
I was doing a little inside baseball on the back end of YouTube. You can go into deep dive analytics, and you can create groups of videos. And you compare these video groups together. And so I wanted to see video reviews I've done versus first drive events. I'm trying to, quantify whether a first drive event makes sense. Do auto shows make sense? So I'm trying to make these groups together to see what the deal is. And I had to look back in my press loan. So I had a variety of trucks in February that I did all these comparison stuff to. I had like a run of 4 trucks in a row. But prior to that, my last review I had done was in November.
Wow.
So I mean, and that's rare for me. I'm usually, and so I've gone now. I have 2 press loans next month just because I called, and I'll have a couple trucks I think in July, and maybe a few things in August. And the other press company in Denver, I haven't seen at my house. I think I'm going on 14 months.
Wow.
They don't have anything. So it's like I can't even get vehicles to review. Dealerships don't even have stuff. Right. And so, it's a maddening time trying to, and the thing that kills me is the vehicles are so damn cool these days. Like the Bronco's badass, and Gladiator sucks in certain trims, but it's kind of a cool truck, right? And the Tundra can
wait. I remember Tim being like, it's a one and done vehicle. Like,
I think it's still one and done.
Tim wasn't
Team Gladiator. We're still in the one generation of it. We're still in one generation. I don't think we can do another generation. I don't know, but actually they may, because the truck and SUV market's blown apart. So I don't know what they're thinking over there. But I don't know. It's such a crazy time to be in the industry and trying to buy stuff, and that's where I'm at. Like I'm consumer plus journalist, and I'm getting like, that's why these automakers like Toyota reached out to me, because I'm unique in that I'm consumer, but I'm also a journalist. I drive a bunch of different trucks, and so I have a unique perspective on it.
Well, so if this Bronco was yours, what would be your first step? How would you handle this situation?
I sure as hell would make a video like you did.
Yep.
That'd be, and I'd do the saga on it, right? I'd follow up on it, and I would personally do another video reaching out on forums and such and seeing how big of a problem it is. Is to me, is it a known problem or not? Like, for example, the Tundra has known problems, and I wrote a post about it, and I need to do a video on it. But the problem is, anytime I do a video on it, it may not live for eternity because the problems get fixed, and then the video would make sense. And but I would like to know, with this Bronco, is it a known problem? Are you seeing lots of other stuff? and can other owners corroborate what you're seeing? And then I would definitely do what you're doing, right? Document the whole thing, and then get it back. The challenge I would think with the Bronco for you has got to be aftermarket accessories to add. I wonder if they're finally getting a bunch more stuff on hand, more stuff you can do to it, or more stuff that you even want to. It's one of those things. It's like people talk to me all the time, like build it up, do this, do that, lift, whatever. And I'm like, you can, but do people watch it? Is it just extra filler? Is it just, I don't know.
Well, the problem is, and we face this a little bit with the Bronco, is we've had a bunch of people, hey, when are you going to take this thing off road? And it's like, for one, I work 45 hours a week. Kelly works 45 hours a week. I do this as another basically full-time job every night. And we're run out of time to actually go use the stuff when we can. So that was why
we donate way too much of our time to
to our community. And so for us, that was why the Moab trip was going to be important to us, because for one, we're a better place to break in your off-road vehicle than the land of off-road fun. Like, yes, I could go 20 minutes from my house and find some dirt, whatever, and do something cool like that. But I thought it'd be special to go to Moab with
that. It's gonna be that epic trip.
Yeah. And now I'll be honest, if I got it back in time, how you always get a vehicle repaired, you're kind of like,
is it ready?
Yeah, I know. But I mean, you have it. You have to roll with it. If you get it back,
of course,
you got to go. I mean,
no doubt.
And Moab is cool. I mean, the fun fact, I've never actually been to Moab.
Really?
I've driven by about a dozen times. I've been around parks around the area, in Nevada and Arizona. So, I mean, look, I understand Moab. I understand the appeal of it. It's got cool names for drops and such, but we just did Diablo drop and outside of San Diego in an off-road park. I've done enough off-road parks that it's fun, but yeah, I've never, I don't know. It's one of those things. I keep talking about going to Moab, keep talking about doing stuff because I want to see it, but I don't have the same drive to go there as I used to. It's funny, when I was in Michigan growing up, we only thought about Michigan. Michigan's very Michigan, right?
And you go up north.
Go up north, right? That was the whole deal. And then when I found out about Moab, as I got moved out farther west, I was like, oh, Moab. Well, at the time I lived in Buena Vista, Colorado, and Salida, Colorado, in the middle of the mountains, right? So I lived in this beautiful scenery. I lived in Denver area. Then I lived in western Nebraska, where we get to Rapid City and the mountain, the cliffs all around me, all that kind of stuff. So it's like, I see that same scenery that they use in Moab. The challenge I have is I wish that in our area, we have a lot of badlands. I wish they just opened it up for wheeling. But I say that, and I think about all the logistics to get that done. And I'm like,
well, definitely some states, like I know Michigan's kind of a pain in the ass. Pennsylvania is really a pain, like to get off-road parks up and running, because there's such restrictions on them, environmental restrictions. Right. And but you guys had in Michigan, I want to see the dunes. I really want to see the dunes.
Yeah, I've seen I've had friends go up there. I've seen a bunch of video and photos of it. But for me, I think when I think of off-road, it's funny. I get a lot of crap about this, but I'm just a practical guy in the country, right? And so it's like, for me, when I go off-roading, I go down the street and find a bunch of washboards and washed out roads and climb over the ditch banks and climb through the field.
And get Bronco Sport stuck and
right. I had the Bronco. Yeah, that thing got buried. But I go play with it in the fields and go play with it, to climb stuff, because that's just right there. And I don't have this desire to take my 145-inch wheelbase, $67,000 truck over a big boulder. I just not. Will I do it? Will I do it at press trips? Yes, but not my own vehicle.
So I have to just say, it made me laugh. What made me laugh, Tim, is that you're like, I'm just a. What did you say? I'm just a. Did you say country boy or country something? Yeah. Something like that. And then you were like washboards. And I was like imagining washboard washing, like the washboards that you actually wash clothes on. And that is what I imagined as soon as you said washboard.
Because they are somewhat like washboard.
No, I know they somewhat are, but I totally, that's where I went with it. It was like, Tim's out there doing his laundry on washboards back there. Out in the country.
Like when we were in Florida, when we drove through that nightmare area.
I know what it is. Yeah. I just had to share with the folks of why I was giggling.
So what was in that margarita?
A lot of vodka
tequila.
Now. A lot of vodka now. Watch out!
And it's like washboards or
look, Tim. Do you have? Do you have branded cups, sir?
I have a branded shot glass right above my head over here.
Yeah, but do you ever use them? See, this is called brand. This is, you go, hey, wait, excuse me.
Yeah. Like see? People want to see one more logo on my channel.
I was going to say he is sporting it pretty good tonight.
I don't. Hey,
and you have the hat.
Yeah,
on.
I got the hat on, man.
People say in my ear they're going to be washing.
Yeah.
People are always like, you talk weird. I'm like, have you met my neighbors?
I hear the Michigan when we talk to you a lot. I don't hear it at first, but I do hear it when we talk a bunch with you. And Lifestyle Off-Road says once you do see Moab, you're going to be really sad that it took you so long to see Moab.
Yeah, Moab is. I will say Moab is a special place. When you turn off of 70 and you hit whatever road that is, 15 or something like that, and you instantly, like a light switch, you just see those red rocks. You're just like, this is Mars. Like I'm literally on Mars all of a sudden. It's just cool to me.
So my daughter lives about an hour and a half, 2 hours from Moab.
Okay.
So I go to visit her, and so I've driven right by it. I've driven right through areas. I've been through the stuff. I just I don't know. And I guess from my aspect of it, when I look at things from a journalist standpoint and look at an industry standpoint, I just feel like Moab's been covered so many times.
Oh, no doubt.
Oh, for sure.
And so I'm just like, it like lose the appeal. If every time you turn on YouTube, there's a new video of somebody wheeling in Moab, it's like, God, can we get something else?
Well, the Rubicon's a little out of my way right now, Tim.
Yeah, no, it's not happening.
It's a little further. Like the idea of me driving the 24 straight hours to Moab's pretty daunting. I can't imagine like going everywhere else. But as far as me, I live in the land of green. We have green everything here. So we get people that come from west that used to come to our off-road event, and we have this ivy growing over. It's called Virginia creeper. It just takes over a tree, goes over everything, and people will snap photos of this. And I'm like, it's just a weed. But they're so used to not seeing these colors and it's the same for us. We
also have to warn those people that is not ground cover. It's ivy, so don't drive on it because you can't guarantee that you're not going to fall off the hill.
Yeah, because there's some,
because it does kind of look like it's straight ground cover, but no.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, we don't have much green around here, right? So we don't have much humidity. So it's mostly the wintertime, especially, it's all brown and depressing. And I go out to Wyoming and I go out into South Dakota. It's all the same. Like the Badlands of South Dakota, I mean, the same landscape as Moab, no. Similar ideas sometimes. I mean, a lot of dirt roads, a lot of dirt rocks, that kind of stuff. I've been I did an overlanding trip from Grand Junction, I think it was, to Salt Lake City. So I've driven through the area. I've done that stuff, that trail, whatever the trail is. Moab is 8 hours from me, 545 miles.
Look, he's already looking it up now.
I've looked it up many times. I thought it was about 8 hours. I wanted to double check what it was, but yeah, it's. I would probably go the Wyoming route personally. I hate going through Denver, but
well, there's a reason that we were stopping through Denver,
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you gotta get your edibles. I mean, your stuff.
We were going to stop at TFL.
I mean, they're edibles too, I guess, but in different ways.
I don't know, and I'm not saying it's anything bad, but I'm just saying, I don't know.
Yeah, no, our plan for the trip was, so we were going to, the torture of Kansas. Yeah. And then, because Kelly's never drove through Kansas that I know of. My daughter's never been that far out west.
In Kansas, but I've not driven all the way through.
There's nothing like that straight road of nothing.
Wait. I really like my Kansas friends and people on this channel.
Yeah.
But driving through Kansas, like, come on. Like, I live in Nebraska, and I even tell people, like, driving through Nebraska is like.
But it was going to add like an extra hour.
I know, but I'm just saying there's nothing. You can't be like, I'm going to drive through Kansas.
That's true.
You can't say, I'm going to drive through Nebraska.
Well, that is true. We haven't been to Nebraska.
I mean,
we haven't been to Nebraska.
We call it the I-80 trap, where it's, I mean, back in the day, they built the roads in the flattest ground possible to save money, right? So they built this highway in the southern part of Nebraska, which is very flat. Well, northern part and in my part, was hilly. And so we call it 80 trap. You get so used to thinking about this Nebraska boring and flat, you miss out on the beauty, which is great because you all just stay down there and don't come up here. It's great.
Yeah, no, I I have heard that is a more pleasant trip to drive through, but no. But we were going to take 40 back, which we were talking privately. You said you've never done much of 40.
I've never done the southern route. No, because I've done the 70 route. I've done the 80 route from Michigan. Because you kind of, when you go through Michigan, you come through Chicago, you kind of have a choice. I mean, you can kind of decide to go south or north. So what I do a lot is check the weather map.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And just see which way it makes sense, because you can cause a lot of problems. But no, it's interesting. That part of the country. I'd be curious, like, what did you expect for fuel economy on that drive?
We didn't.
Well, yeah.
Let's be honest. He's been umpiring, and we've been putting that money back.
I've literally been umpiring just to save for fuel, and well, now it keeps doubling every week. It's like, well,
yeah,
that's one fill up.
We didn't really think about fuel economy from that perspective, because for us, our daughter, like he said, our daughter's never been that far west, and this was she's been asking to go on trips and stuff with us, and we were like, you can't go on these like quick press trips that we do, but you can't, we'll go to Moab, how about we'll do that? And she's like, oh yeah, let's do that, because she's wanted to go every time we go too. So for us, it really wasn't something that we were
there was gonna be a video,
but there was
definitely
a video.
But I mean, Kansas sucks for if the winds are blowing. I mean, it's just horrible. I remember taking a Frontier out that way. Now, it was fairly modified, but we were getting maybe 10 going through Kansas because it was just nasty. Wind was blowing. It was just awful.
What are you guys averaging now?
But I really do think we would hit 18, 19s going out there.
I'm averaging like 15 city.
Okay.
Yeah. She's got a heavy foot, though.
We've done as well as 20. What do we do on the back roads?
21.7.
21.7 is our best in it, back roads.
But that's not trying to be a hyper fuel 40-mile trip, but it's basically turned into, if I want to get really good mileage, what can we do?
Yeah, so I mean, the thing is, like, the entire way to Moab, you're going to run into the wind, and you're going to go uphill the whole way.
Yep.
Right. I mean, you'll get to Denver, you cross the Eisenhower Tunnel, you'll start going downhill on the backside, but it's not that far of a back downhill. And so, you're going to get on the way back. It'll be interesting to see your there and back, because there you're probably going to get the worst. On the way back, you can get something, better.
Right. Tim says it might be cheaper to have your Bronco shipped there.
So funny thing you mentioned that, Tim, because somebody actually asked us recently, and our daughter actually responded with it. She was like, couldn't guarantee our truck would get there in time. She's like, because there's shipping shortages of people taking vehicles places. She's like, and we're only there for 3 days.
Yeah.
Like, so she was like, there's no guarantee we're going to get our vehicle there. It was like, well, at least you're paying attention to what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, part of it, we want to experience a long trip in the Bronco, and part of it was to document what the vehicle was like. So if worse things happen and a vehicle can't get repaired in time, it pushes the trip probably off a year. I mean, obviously we'll do off-roading past that, beyond that, but because, man, I was telling Tim the other day, like, we're going to be at the Jeep Invasion to cover that. We've got the Tawa Fall event. We're going to SEMA again, and I'm hoping to squeeze in LA Auto Show. And yeah, that's a lot of travel. So,
but we need to if we don't make it to go to Moab, so if our truck is not back in time for that, we do need to find something.
Oh, we'll take it.
We'll take
her
on.
We'll take her to. We'll go camping to Windrock.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's what we would have to do.
It's been way too long itching to off-road this thing, and will it break again? That's the next thing is what breaks next on this damn thing.
Dun dun dun.
Well, what's funny is you see people being aggressive and just not driving smartly and just abusing their vehicle. Nothing happens. I haven't attempted to abuse this vehicle yet, and the damn thing falls apart.
Yeah. Like, and especially we were told that our truck was gone over with an extra fine tooth comb to make sure, because
well, I mean, look at the door lock issue I had in my truck. And they saw it go through the factory, and that people are sending me pictures on the line. They were like, oh, yeah, that's the special truck. I'm like, okay. And so I pick up a dealership, and damn door lock's going crazy.
Oh, that's right. It was
yeah. And I'm like, what the? Yes, you went over this fine-tooth comb and it already broke.
Right?
Well, we have noticed some quality things with the door lock light on the driver's side. The little light doesn't work, but it does on the passenger side.
But here's what I'm guessing happened. Several of you have seen the videos of when it's raining and you have a soft top and you roll down your window, it pours in the window. So I have a feeling, because it's about that spot, what's happened is from that, it's ruining that mechanism in the door.
But I would think the switch would just go out.
The switch did go out.
No, but it wouldn't work at all.
How often do we use it?
Well, it does lock.
Does it? I haven't tried it lately.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, that could be the beginning of it. The lights.
You can't try it now.
That's true.
Unless we break into a dealership.
I do have to say, I've left some things in there. I'm like, damn it, it's in the Bronco, and I don't know when I'm gonna get it back. Like,
yeah, there goes that crunchy.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, it was actually my badge for the field for my for softball is actually in the Bronco, and I was like, dang it.
First world problems there.
No thinking badges.
That's right, man. They know who we are.
I can make my own.
So Tim, obviously you're not getting any press loans, and I know you've been looking for cars. What's kind of on your top 5 list right now? I mean, if you could find a Bronco to live with it for 6 months, would you purchase a Bronco? Because I know you did enjoy the one you had last summer.
Oh yeah, I'd buy one. They're a lot of fun. They're a toy. I mean, it's a lot of fun to drive around. I enjoy them. I don't have a dedicated garage space, which would be my problem with the Bronco, because I'd want to leave the top off and the doors off. And it was funny when I had it for the loan, I actually had to clean out my garage, which was actually kind of a good thing. But I had to make room for everything, and then I parked it in the garage. My wife parked outside because A, I didn't want people stopping by and gawking at all hours of night, because that happens with that vehicle. But B, I wanted to leave the top and doors off, because they always make those videos like, it's easy to take off these doors. It's simple, and you do it 15 times. Sure, at the 15th time it's easy, but the first couple of times it's like, holy cow, it's tired. And so, I mean, that's what I enjoyed with it. I would want to get a Bronco Raptor, though. I'd want to get something stupid. Like,
see, that thing is so ugly. That thing in person is, to me, just so ugly. Those fenders are just god awful to me. And I'm not, if anybody in this chat fuss away, but I just personally, I think they were an afterthought, and I don't like it. But I do like the idea of the horsepower. Yeah, they did fix some things when you sit in that thing, because you've seen them in person. You were at the Chicago Auto Show, so
I've seen them in person. I think I've glanced.
They did fix some things about it, like the digital dash is how they should have came from the get-go. There's a couple things I like about it.
I'm such a bad journalist sometimes, because it's like I just get this thing where it's like, okay, we've covered the Bronco Raptor a lot, right? And we covered the Bronco a lot, right? And so when I see them now, I just kind of gloss over them, right? Because I've seen it so many times.
Yes.
And that's the problem, because people are like, oh my God, did you see this? I'm like, I think I did. I might have. I like the Swamp Edition thing. Like, I looked at that, and here you go, Jill, do the video.
Yeah,
I'm just like, it's just
You're talking about the Everglades.
Yes.
Oh, is it the Everglades one? I just call it the Swamp Edition. So it's like that's what I just look at that stuff anymore. It's like, okay, there's just parts slapped onto it, modify a little bit. Okay, that's fine. I'm just like I said, I've just been doing this job too long. It's just the reality of it,
Man, it's like you hate cars all of a sudden, Tim.
Wow.
Jeez.
I don't hate cars. I like things that are new and exciting and different. It's just, I just don't get overwhelmed by this stuff. Like, people keep saying to me, like, you need to buy a Lightning. It's so badass. I'm going to drive it, like I said, Wednesday. And I don't know. I mean, I've never once thought about, gee, I can't wait to go 0 to 60 in 4 seconds in my truck.
Well, so we when we were in Texas, we drove an EV. It was the first EV I've gotten to drive, and yeah, that's fun.
Which one did you drive?
We did the Kia, the EV6 GT.
EV6.
Yeah,
it's got like a name like this long.
I know, but the thing's, I initially, this is how bad I am. My friends posted pictures of it on Facebook, and I had to Google what the hell it was. Because I was like, I just didn't care about, I didn't know about it. Oh,
Tim, this is what the next vehicle that excites me.
So let's discuss this. So
okay, I mean, it's Ford, so we're in the range, people.
Yeah. So what's so exciting about this Ranger Raptor to you?
I like mid-sized trucks. They fit my life pretty well. I like a full-size truck, don't get me wrong, but a mid-sized truck just, I don't know, there's something about it that I like to drive. And the idea of actually taking this thing off-road is more appealing because it's smaller. Though honestly, this vehicle, I would never, the type of off-roading we like to do, I probably would never do that. I mean, I'm hearing 425 horsepower in this thing, which is ridiculous for that size of a vehicle. So I love high horsepower, man. So that's pretty nice. I think it's a good, I think it looks a lot better than the current Ranger. And I don't know, Tim. I just really, this is the Raptor for me.
Okay. All right. I drove the Tacoma TRD Pro, and that's cool and all, but I didn't see the dollar amount there for that. I mean,
yeah, but what, Tacoma's same engine? You're not really getting anything, right?
Yeah. And I get the smaller size for trails. It definitely fits a lot better in trails. Like, for example, that Toyota drive we did, we had the Tundra, we had the Tacoma, and a 4Runner. And towards the end, we all wanted to be in the 4Runner because it was most comfortable to ride in, and it was the right size for the trails, right? I mean, that's what it turned out to be. And I can see that. I mean, I enjoyed. I mean, I've had 02s, the Colorado 02s. I've jumped them. I've flown through ditches. I've done 360s in mud with these things. They're a lot of fun. So I can get it. It's just interesting that you know, that we haven't even seen anything. We've seen globally pictures of it. We haven't seen anything US yet. But
oh yeah, I do think though with the US spec that because these are 33s on this, I think they will give us 35s, and I think it's going to be a truck version of the current Raptor, Bronco Raptor. Is what I think. Built on the same platform, everything about it's going to be pretty close. But I don't know. I like it. I do wish that the fenders looked a little wider. I was looking at the Raptors, and that was something that first generation Raptor just had, those ultra wide looking fenders, and they've sort of tamed it down every generation. Just kind of gets a little weaker and weaker. So I'm hoping maybe the US spec gets a little more fun vehicle.
So Tim asked, what's the MSRP on Ranger Raptor?
Nothing yet. It's not even. They've not officially announced it. I would like to say around probably July, August, because
Google's say 52.5-ish.
I would think it'd be more than that.
And that's what it says, starting at 52.5.
I think 52.5 is competitive with Tacoma TRD Pro. And at least
okay, where are you at with that? So this vehicle, same engine as the Bronco Raptor. Pretty identical setup. I think you won't get all the GOAT modes, obviously, that you're going to get with the Bronco, because the Bronco is made more specific for off-roading. So you're getting more value with this? Is that what you're thinking? Because Bronco Raptor is 72 to 78, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
I think Ford's concern here is pricing themselves out of the marketplace. So the Bronco and the Bronco Raptor is kind of like it's an open book, because the only really competitor is Wrangler. And Wrangler Rubicons, they go for quite a bit of money. So they can go for what they want in that stuff.
Yeah.
I think in this segment, in mid-sized truck segment, they got to be really price conscious. I think you'll see this price not be as high because of that.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you say that, and then I think 50-some thousand for a mid-sized truck is still outrageous.
Well, look at the marketplace. I mean, there's 116,000 people waiting for a $115,000 Hummer EV.
Yes.
And people are like, Tim, you're rich. You bought a $60,000 truck this year. I'm like, oh, what? What's going on over here?
Yeah.
Hello. I mean, I drove a $85,000 Sierra Denali Ultimate, and people were like, I got 3 on reserve, and I'm gonna get. No, I'm like, the money is just crazy these days. What truck and what you don't get. Like I had my Tundra is $67,000, and I didn't get most of the features that are in the top trim level, and I'm like $67,000.
Well, now you have the capstone actually hitting dealerships.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really curious. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna drive that Wednesday, and I'm gonna be so curious to really get inside of it and actually play around with it a little bit. That's one of the benefits for me for buying vehicles is like you gain so much knowledge that you just don't have with a press loan.
Yeah,
the press loan's like an appetizer, and these events we go to are like appetizers. Until you get the full main course of owning it for months at a time.
Yeah,
And there's always little things that driving around like you don't even think about, and all of a sudden it pops up. Oh yeah, it's this or that. The guy today was telling me that he can't see the gauges when he sits in his seat. He can't see the bottom tick lines in the fuel gauge on the temperature gauge. And it's funny because I'm sitting there listening to this guy, and then I would go outside and I'm shooting a picture, and I was like, wait, I can see him. So it's like not, we weren't arguing about it. I just think his seating position isn't quite right, and that's why
just
I can't
adjust
see
it.
Yeah,
and I think to your point, there's a lot more tech in these vehicles than, to your point, the guy didn't know, his dealership didn't know what to tell him.
Yeah.
His dealership didn't know any of this because there is so much tech. Like I'm still finding buttons in the Bronco of like, oh yeah, I can make it drop down a little bit because my torso is a little bit taller than his is. So he likes to sit up a little higher than I do. And so there's like little things that like adjustments that can be made that people don't necessarily know are there. And to your point, like you could see it fine. He probably just needed to tweak something.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, he got used to his own driving position for so many years. It wasn't, what I think happens to me more and more is there's features in vehicles I just flat out forget about.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the Ram's a great example of this. The Ram, this is the Rebel that has the height adjustment for off-roading, and it has air suspension and this, that, and the other. Man, I forget about that stuff every time I drive it. Like, and I get it, and I'm driving along, I'm going through some weeds or whatever, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should go higher. I'm like, I should, oh yeah,
that's a great thing. So Tim, you obviously know I do land surveying, so we've got a fleet of the last generation Tundras now that they've bought, and the stupid sensors in the front of that truck just drive us crazy when we're going through tall grass now. Just that's one of those things you're like, you guys think of people on the road, but not for people that actually buy the vehicles to actually use them for a work vehicle.
As I was explaining to him today, that if the chief engineer of these trucks wanted to build a truck the way they wanted to, it had none of those features. It had none of the features. It wouldn't even have, like, Tundra has crowd control. He doesn't want crowd control. Doesn't want rear differential. Doesn't want parking sensors. The problem is legal gets involved. Legal and safety get involved. And so we have the IIHS, and you have NHTSA, who gives automakers a claim for having parking sensors and become a better, safer truck because of these parking sensors. Well, and then customers shop for safety. And now here we are, where I tell people all the time, the best thing you want to do today is invest in car washers, because we're all going to end up washing our cars more often. Because guess what? Sensors don't work when they're covered.
Everything's yelling.
Right? And so your work trucks are always going to have to get washed more often, because once you get mud on them, you get dirt on them, whatever, and those sensors start going off, that's what's going to happen. It's just the reality of things. I don't love it, but it's interesting. So like my wife's Mazda CX-5, I was noticing today, I was pulling her car in the garage, and we leased it. So leased it 2019, I think is the model year. It doesn't have parking sensors. I thought, that's cool, no big deal. But I keep like almost accidentally hitting my toolbox every time I go in the garage, right? Because you got to look at the mark on the wall, right? The garage mark on the wall, and you got to line up, you know what I mean? The old school stuff. I put the tennis ball hanging from the ceiling, but the kids love beating on the tennis balls. It doesn't work. But so, I mean, you have this thing, and then I'm thinking to myself, I really want that parking sensor for this garage, but I know if she's parking outside and we have snow or ice, I don't want the parking sensors.
We had issues with our Bronco with the rear sensors. Like they froze up, and it constantly thinks there's somebody behind you. And I know many years ago I remember you stopping on the side of the road because you were having some issues with the.
Oh, Tundra had issues with adaptive cruise control, and I learned that there's a separate cruise control feature that I wasn't aware of. That's the other thing too. Like, I thought it was adaptive cruise only, and I figured out there's a trick to getting cruise control only, which doesn't use a sensor.
Right.
I've had a Ram. I couldn't back out of the driveway until I walked out there with my brush and brushed off all the sensors. It wouldn't allow me to back up because the automatic emergency braking for reverse was acting up. I mean, I've had tons of issues with different vehicles through the years. And it's funny because, like I wrote a story about different aftermarket bumpers and such, and they're like, aftermarket bumpers are supposed to be built now with the sensor as part of it because the stuff was seeming that kind of stuff. And I'm like, then I went and called one of the aftermarket suppliers for the bumpers, and he goes, you got to buy the low trim level. I was like, well, why? He goes, because it doesn't come with sensors. We can use that one. And I was like, that's not the answer you're supposed to give me here. I'm not, it's like, I don't know. It's what I was thinking about today, and this is something that maybe you're thinking about. somebody had said to me, they said, why don't you go buy like a work truck and build it up?
Mm-hmm.
You remember back in the day, you could buy the base level, right?
The
So
WT.
the WT, that was cloth. The next level up was like leather, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are your choices, right? Cloth or leather, and that was basic. And then maybe one more trim that had maybe some more chrome. I mean, those are your trim levels back.
You didn't get a tape deck with the work truck. It was solid radio only.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this today, and I was thinking about that's not a bad idea. And I was thinking, wait a minute, I was talking to Jill about this, and I was thinking, but can you even buy an aftermarket radio that fits with these new infotainment systems they have in these trucks?
That's the brain of the system now.
So I went old school. I pulled up Crutchfield, and I was actually looking around, putting in different model years of trucks and such, and and each one came back like 21, 22, whatever. They were like, for safety reasons or fitment, there's no products available. Yeah, it just kept every single time kept saying that. So I was like, so I'm thinking to myself now, like, so what would you build up on a tradesman or for example, you've had this discussion. We're doing Bronco talk. Mm-hmm. You buy the base Bronco versus what are we, Sasquatch or something like that, right? I mean,
Badlands.
Yeah, but can you can't, like, I tell people all the time, like, you can't like add crawl control driving goat modes. That's you can't really.
So what you can with Bronco, there will be lockers and stuff that their ARB and some of these companies will have stuff for it.
They just don't right now.
But yeah, no, there's like as far as the radio, forget it. No, other than speakers, like I mentioned in your stream the other night, speakers you can upgrade, and they need to be in about any Ford product. They're the worst company I've seen for sound systems.
Right.
I could get in a Navigator and want to replace the sound system because it's just horrible. But yeah, I mean, you can lift them, but even with the problems they're having with some vehicles, when you lift them, you got to have all this the calibration for the sensors, because they know a certain distance from the ground, and it throws them all out and puts them in limp mode.
And you can't really add cameras, right? You can't really add a rear camera because you can't really make it work with the interface.
Yeah.
And you can't add like lane departure in the lane adaptive cruise control, because you'd have to have those sensors and wired in the computer, which I don't think it really exists. You can change the seats, right? So you can do a cat skin leather, you can do cloth, whatever you want to do. You can add wrap. You can wrap it. You can lift tires. You can change the front bumper, maybe, if it fits the sensors. But I'm thinking to myself, like, what else could you do to upfit these trucks? I don't know.
Yeah, well, the industry as a whole, we're slowly losing,
right?
losing control. Once EV hits, it's going to be boring vehicle 24/7, and that's I think they'll be like your Swede. I think those are going to be rarities that people will have, and you can't take them out much because of fuel. And yeah, we're slowly losing our ability to have fun vehicles.
Yeah, and the other thing too, like, I looked at my truck and I looked at the Power Boost I had last year, and I looked at the Bronco and such. Like, somebody says they have a universal harness. Even if they do have a universal harness, do you understand the computer technology background you have to hack into these systems? And then you got to try to put the dash back together the way it came. Like, that's my like I think once the dash comes apart, like, I have high concerns about that ever going back correctly.
Oh, so we have a viewer in here that took his dash apart to wire something up, and he cussed for 3 days about that, I think, because it was a nightmare to get back together.
Yeah, I don't even want to touch these vehicles once they get to that point. So, and then you look at EVs, like, somebody said, he says, I can't wait for all these cool EVs to come out. We're going to lift them and put tires on them and go in the computer and make them faster and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, no, you're not modifying these things at all. Like, the EVs, to me, EVs signal the end of modifications of vehicles, and they signal the end of drag racing. Like, I think it's hilarious when I go on YouTube and you see two EVs dragging race each other. Like, that's the dumbest thing, because EVs are power on demand, like flipping a light switch, right?
Yeah, well, Kia we had was a 4.5 second Kia.
Yeah. And the thing is, nobody cares anymore about that zero. Like, people talk about 0-60 all the time, and I'm always laughing, because every time I go to LA with all the Tesla's world home capital, right? They're all sitting in interstate and stop and go traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who cares how fast you go when you're sitting in traffic?
Mm-hmm.
Well, but it's part of the lightning and everything. That's a big measuring stick there. And there was somebody dropped a video the other day. Did Chevrolet just destroy the market with the Silverado? And I commented in their video, I was like, It would have to get to market before you destroy the market. And part of the sales pitch of that vehicle was, oh, we can 4 seconds or whatever for a pickup. And I'm like you, I don't care anymore. If you heard a cammed out, like the get a scat pack or whatever on your Dodge, it sounds cool. Yeah. There's something fun mechanical about it, something man-made fire kind of something about it.
Gosh.
No, seriously, there is there's this caveman experience with it. And with EV, it's just like, shouldn't even call it a throttle anymore, really. I don't know what just a button.
Yeah, I know. We talk all the time. We're calling it the accelerator pedal.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't know. It's just, I'm going to drive the Lightning, and I'm very curious. I mean, it's amazing to me, the response online with the Lightning. Mm-hmm. People are heralding it as the next coming of sliced bread, of the greatest thing. I mean, some people are like, I was like, geez, is that Jesus Christ coming again? You know, I'm like watching these video reviews.
Well, he's going, he's driving Ford, Tim. Jeez, come on, man.
Goodness. It's like it's the most important truck launch in the history of trucks. And
what pisses me off about that is there's been many other. GM had a S10 EV years ago.
The Ford Ranger had one for a year, and they were too expensive. Nobody cared. I mean, I don't know. I think it's, again, I can't wait to drive it. And when I watch the marketing for some of these vehicles, I'm just turned off.
Yes.
Like, look, it's a crew cab, full-size truck with a bed, and yet all of a sudden I need a frunk.
Yes.
I've been driving full-size trucks for years. I've never been like, ooh, if I just had more storage space in this thing.
Well, what else are you going to do with the area that should have been the engine?
I don't know. It's like, if they don't do a frunk, you're like, what the hell did you guys do? Why didn't you do that? Then you do the frunk, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm laughing. They're like, you can fit 2 full sets of golf clubs in this truck in the frunk. And I was like,
that should be appealing to you.
Yeah, but I'm like, the truck seats 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So where's the other people's clubs go? Oh, you didn't make it the front. Throw your ass in the back, right?
Well, and that's like when we drove the Kia. Okay, so I had to pull up my fancy dancy little thing there. The EV6 GT line all-wheel drive. It had a tiny little frunk, tiny.
Oh, it was stupid.
It was stupid. Like, what was the point in the frunk in this car? There was none. It was literally this big around, and you're like, what? Why'd you even?
Fun car though. What's a fun car?
I can't go with the design of that vehicle.
I love the design of that.
I don't know. It's just the design these days is sick.
It looks like a.
It's better than the Hyundai version of that car, though. What, the Ion 5 or whatever they call that thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not a fan. It's funny how design is changing so much with that, right? I mean, we don't. It's like, well, I don't know. It's interesting. But then you get guys in the channel, right? So where's the plug-in hybrid Bronco?
Well, I was about to ask you that. Where it's coming. Ford's teased enough. You've seen enough of these things floating around in Michigan where you see the orange cable underneath, and it's by no accident that they left that orange cable.
Oh yes,
very exposed.
Oh, they're spy photos. We found something unique.
Yes. Ooh. But do you think Bronco? So the Jeep Jeep EV, it's a hybrid, but it's
the 4xe.
Yes, which has been honest. I think it's a disaster for Jeep, because I know many people that buy them and 6 months later get rid of them real quick because it's not what they expected. Is Ford over there watching that going, well, we can make them ride better because of the independent suspension versus what Jeep does, but we can't really get past 50 miles. Like, is there a market for that?
Well, here's the reality of things, is that Jeep gets an EPA credit every time they sell a plug-in hybrid. But
they're using those credits up badly.
But Stellantis, the parent company, sucks at cafe rules.
Sure.
They've been paying fines for years. So they want credits, right? And so I think Ford is going to get in the same boat too. The Mach-E's doing fine. They got rid of their cars, which was good for them in that business sense. But they're going to need some EV credits. So I think they're going to build it. I mean, they just will. And Jill and I have argued tooth and nail on this stuff, but there's 2 points of view on this. So for her, she lives in downtown Chicago, like literally downtown Chicago. And if she had a plug-in hybrid Jeep or Bronco, let's say plug-in hybrid Bronco, she could drive an EV for her entire week. Never need to use gas. because her gym is 5 miles away, maybe, and the grocery store is in the same. I mean, it's a very tight community there for shopping and that kind of stuff. So she'd be great because then on the weekends she could go out on the highway and go visit people, and she could just drive, right? So the rest of the time she's using EV only. So in that situation, works sense. In my situation, I had a Mitsubishi Outlander, which was just a terrible plug-in vehicle. I basically made it across town, and I ran out of EV charging. It basically cost me like $6 to charge it for 9 hours to drive 11 miles across town before it lost range. So I was like, what the? But again, like this guy's saying, for daily commute, if you want to drive EV only, I think what I'm surprised with is, why are we so driven to go from straight gasoline to straight EV? Why?
Yeah, I don't.
Why is
I don't
there not
get
like let's help Americans get to that point. Let's give them a plug-in. Let's give them a hybrid option. Let's move down that road and saying this is what's got to be.
Yeah, because our houses aren't built for it yet. Like the houses are not capable of it. Like,
well, I was reading a story from dealerships in New York and New Jersey. They were actually paying $10,000 to $15,000 to the power company to upgrade the lines to be able to put into the shop to add the chargers. And what I'm concerned about is, I'm very concerned not about the Jeep 4xe people who bought the wrong one, because Jeep's it's a sale, right?
Sure,
they bought the wrong one because customers aren't doing the right things. Like the guy I talked to this morning, you're not researching this enough, right? So people love this idea of it, and then you go off-roading with a Jeep 4xe like I have done, and it's just weird. It's like walking, but you're driving. So it's just I think you're going to see that more and more. But what I'm concerned about is, like the Ford Lightning. I'm really concerned about the number of consumers going to sell that after they get it for about a month.
Because I think there'll be a mass exodus.
They don't understand the thing. I don't think they understand is a full-size truck. It's a big vehicle. This is not an easy park in the garage situation. This is, it's funny when they show the commercials of that vehicle, they always show the lady charging it, and she's outside the house plugging it in. Well, the reason why it won't fit in the garage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so. I would love to see a Bronco EV, a Bronco plug-in, a Maverick plug-in hybrid, a Ranger plug-in hybrid, something like that. I know they're working on that stuff, or full EV, because I think the smaller size is more of a benefit to EV as well, because you can drive it easier, you can navigate a little bit easier, you can park it easier, and you're expecting less from it because it's smaller size. So when you start talking about full size, and it's like, yeah, I can tow 10,000 pounds. Yeah, around the block.
Right.
I mean, I really worry about consumers, frankly, and I keep doing these videos because I'm hoping they find it. Like the guy I talked to this morning found it. You just have to keep watching these videos and keep educating yourself, and understand that EVs are a global phenomenon. It's globally. I mean, it's like somebody's talking about the president. Who cares? Frankly, I don't care who the president is. It doesn't matter. It's corporations are adopting EV pledges. They're spending billions to build EV plants, to build battery plants.
Well, because there's a credit involved somewhere for them. There is a reason they want to do that.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter who's next.
No, I don't think. I mean, this was happening with our last president. Whether it was,
it's all. And I mean, there's definitely a pro and con. I actually pulled this up. I have it saved in my computer. I was gonna talk about it tomorrow when I'm doing the Lightning. That's why I saved it. Don't myself. There's a site that the government actually puts out, and it shows you the power usage for whether you are emitting more pollution with EVs or a plug-in hybrid or hybrid. You know what I'm gonna do, Dave? I'm gonna send this to you in your Facebook Messenger.
Oh, you can do it privately here in the chat.
Oh, I can do it privately in chat. Look at that. I've never used that feature. Never been a guest. No, I can't. It doesn't allow me to.
What?
No, I can't do that. I'll send it to you. But because I like to think of things long term, and if we got an EV as a lease, I was talking to my wife about this. We would never break even pollution.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the diesel thing of, everybody wants diesel, and then you get.
There it goes.
But then you get diesel, and
there's one for Wisconsin and there's one for Nebraska. And I thought it was a very interesting chart, and it's based on, I don't know if you can bring it up. It's based on.
Well, and it's very comparable since we're talking about solar and nature and all this other crap. You got to think about like, because we got this astronomical electric bill in January. We're like, what the hell is this? Maybe we need to switch to solar panels.
Right.
When you look at the cost of solar panels, it takes you almost 25 years to pay them off to justify. Well, in 25 years, I need to put new solar panels. So what's the point? Like, you've got to look at the cost versus benefit ratio there.
Right.
And looking at your chart, looks like you're doing the same.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the pollution chart for Wisconsin. There's another one I sent you. I think it's for Nebraska too.
Okay.
If I sent it to you correctly. But my point here is you look at the all electric pollution versus say a hybrid pollution or hybrid. People always say it wrong. But look at the difference there. Like
it's minuscule.
Yeah, and so what I say a lot is if we could just get the customers who have gasoline only vehicles in the right to go from gasoline to like a hybrid, we would cut emissions in half by that chart, according to the state of Wisconsin. National averages, you look at national averages, again, if you can take a V8 engine off the market and go a hybrid or even a plug-in hybrid, you don't need to go full EV. You know, we're gonna see massive improvements in emissions just like that. And so, you know, and the other thing too is EVs are more polluted to the. That's my joke too.
I know.
More they cause more pollution in the environment when they get built. So you have to. There's a point in ownership where it starts becoming more environmentally friendly, and that's usually 3 to 4 years of ownership. You got to put that many miles on it to make the benefit of having EV. Yeah, here's Nebraska, and you know, this part of this is because of coal, right? It's because of the coal thing. But look at those national averages. Even then, I mean, even with California thrown in. So I looked at California. California is the complete opposite, right? So California EV in California is phenomenal because they have a lot of hydro power. They have a lot of wind power out there,
right?
So it's a little bit different. But yeah, I just we're such a race to do this, and I'm thinking, well, I'd like to see us work on, you know, aircrafts, on ships, on tanks, and not so much cars like that. But I still would like to see us go from straight gas Bronco to a plug-in or hybrid, and that would cut emissions dramatically.
Yeah. Well, I would agree. I agree with you on that. But the problem is, you know, EV is a buzzword now. You know, people associate EV. They don't think of really hybrid. They just think of, oh, it's Tesla.
Yeah.
That's what people think of EV. So, but I do. I mean, I think there's a place for some off-road vehicles like the Bronco. I think there is a place for it, but I just don't feel like Jeep really feels like it was a rush. Like, oh, well, that's something people will buy it. And yeah, 40 miles, and, you know, like TFL, I know it was mentioned in here. They had one for a while and couldn't get it to do, I think it was 8 miles of pure off-road with that thing, which 8 miles of off-road is still, you don't realize when you're trail running, that's quite a while. But if Ford could get in the 50s, I could see it being more practical. But I don't like the idea though of plug-ins versus just normal hybrids. I don't know, is there a true benefit from a pure plug-in hybrid to the just non-regular gasoline, you know, it generates like that?
I'd tell you what, the best secret in the industry is the Toyota Sienna. The minivan's hybrid only. It generates the power itself, recharges the battery. It's 42 miles per gallon in a van.
Well, I know Carvey was talking about their RAV4 now. It's the second fastest thing they have behind the Supra. Yeah.
I mean, so it's like the technology's there. I think that they would need, the Ford's problem is going to be weight, right? So if you had 50 miles of range, you got to give up more weight for the battery. You got to give up more weight for the vehicle. You have this game going back and forth. I think off-roading in pure electric only mode is cool to people when they first do it. I think there's some allure there. It's exciting. It's different, right?
It's the future. It's the future we were promised a long time ago.
Right. But I think when you start doing it, it becomes kind of a gimmick.
Oh,
because you got to get to the trailhead. You got to save all your EV power before you get to the trailhead. Then you get the trailhead and you put it on and you drive for 8 miles, which is a good amount of time, and then you're done.
Well,
it's like, okay.
So we were
And that was hilarious. Like the Wrangler, people they were saying, "See how quiet it is? It runs so quiet." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's still loud." And they're like, "What do you mean it's loud?" I'm like, "It's a Wrangler. It's loud.
Yeah.
It's design."
Well, we did some testing with that vehicle at the last Tawa event, and
Which one?
the
4xe?
yeah,
or
the 4xe, the Tuscadero, the ugliest pink color I've ever seen.
Oh, that thing was something.
Yeah, no, it's why you didn't see a video of it. That and by that point, I was just burnt out on vehicles, but they it just for people that you drive an EV and it's getting that regenerative braking. It's hard to get used to that stuff like that, and I can only imagine the difficulty of that off road. Like there's certain times I want to coast. There's certain ways I drive that I know my gasoline powered vehicle handles, and then you've got to deal with the regenerative braking and all that stuff. And yeah, you can change it, to more or less, but it's still there. I don't know. EVs in general. I mean, like I said, we drove the one. It was our first EV that we got to drive, full EV. We noticed just right before we get to start our review, it lost like 5 or 8 miles by turning basically the AC on.
Yeah.
Like, so people think, oh, I get 250 miles. No.
Yeah, but the flip side of this stuff I was thinking about as well, like, so last night I didn't sleep well because I was thinking about all the stuff going in Wisconsin. But I was thinking to myself, the 10-speed, Ford's 10-speed is under a class action lawsuit. Like, and it's been a pretty poor transmission so far. I mean, it's a learning transmission. People have struggled with it.
If Ford has it, then GM, right? Because
it's a different mechanicals and a different software setup. So it's the same. It's co-developed, but it brought to market different ways.
Okay.
And I just was laughing because I was thinking I was going to get enlightening and say, all these problems with this 10-speed transmission you guys have been having, guess what? You don't have any problems here because it doesn't exist, right? Yeah. You're worried about the turbos and the EcoBoost blowing up. There you go. You have no, what I mean? So I just think it's interesting. It's like all ICE engines, every vehicle's got problems. They just do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so if you take away the heart of those vehicles, the engine and transmission, and replace it with nothing, or EVs, so you get rid of those problems. Well, I mean, there's a net benefit there. I mean,
is there?
I can see. Oh yeah.
No, but mechanically there's a net benefit, but also there's a human factor, a net loss, because it doesn't take as many people to install all that stuff. The UAW has been very upset with Ford Plus because I think it's Ford's way of trying to slowly weave themselves away from the UAW slightly. It came out also today that Mercedes is also starting to shed dealers. So, because all EVs doesn't need manufacturing wise, you don't need the labor to make these vehicles. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but there's also the negative side.
There's a two-way transition. So, in the early 2000s, I used to manage Best Buy home theater department. And we used to have a bunch of rear projection TVs, and I had the big solid TVs, the big tube front kind of stuff. And on the wall, we had a $9,995. So it's $10,000, 50-inch plasma TV built by Pioneer.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird. It just stood out, right? So I had people coming in every day, stand there and stare at that TV, and they just would stare at it, right? Well, flash forward 20 years, right? You can go to Walmart and buy yourself a 70-inch LCD for $700, right?
Mm-hmm.
Best Buy lost part of their business. And what happened to TV repairmen? They're gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can't repair TVs anymore. You're going to find the same thing happening. I think dealerships are very much aware of this. They understand the service is going to go away with EVs. They're very concerned about this. I think dealerships are going to are going to struggle more and more and more to be in business at all, because they're becoming just spots to pick up your vehicle because services go away. So we're going to find a huge transition piece. I just always think back to who the consumer is for EVs. And if you look back to the consumers who are getting EVs, it's people that don't like maintenance. It's people that don't really like vehicles. They need to
say, yeah, they don't like cars.
Yeah, well, so I don't know if I told the story, but I was watching Jay Lone's garage, and Jay Lone does a great job. That's what he's done for years. He had Weird Al Yankovic on there, and I like Weird Al. He's a very creative guy, very interesting guy, and he's had some big hits. And he said during college he borrowed the station wagon. He drove it all through college, and it blew up like in his junior year. And he didn't realize you had to add oil to it.
Yeah.
He never checked the oil. He always just put gas in it. So, because Jay's like, "Why do you drive a Tesla?" And he goes, "No oil." because he's such a creative type. And the thing is that he's not an idiot. He's a very brilliant guy. He's not that type of guy. He just doesn't want the maintenance. He just wants he's got so much stuff going on in his brain. It's just not what he wants to do. And so he bought a Tesla because he doesn't want that maintenance. And I talk to customers all the time on my channel, different things, and they do have the same thing. I did not realize the anger there is towards gas stations and filling up. There is a subset of the population that hates filling up. They hate going to the gas station. They don't nothing to do with the gas station.
And 5 minutes of your life, man. I don't get it.
I've had people. We have one gas station in town that still does full service, and they are busy with full service because people don't want to pump their own gas. I've seen people buy new trucks and buy new cars and never pop the hood because they don't want to know. That's not their thing. And so
that's what I do every single time.
I was gonna say,
you're not going to see that. And so you're having this new customer base that will have less. They want less maintenance. They want less gas stations. They want to avoid that whole scene.
Well, they want the easy button.
You know what I want to avoid? The dealership where my Bronco is right now, because we did debate on, do we take it to that dealership, or there's one about 10 miles further out, do we take it to? And I was like, unfortunately, I think the further out one was probably a better option, but I
should have.
I don't have that kind of time in my day to develop stress about being so far away. But I ultimately I'm not disappointed in the vehicle. I mean, like we said earlier, timing is kind of a bummer.
I'm disappointed that we haven't heard anything yet.
Well, that's right. New Jersey, you have to use.
Oh, they still that in Oregon, right?
Oregon, right? Oregon, and you can't pump your own gas.
Yeah. Which, how in this day and age, how dumb of a society are we if they don't trust you to pump your own fuel?
It's not that. It's an eco thing.
Yeah, people. I did not understand this, and I don't know, but I got married, and my wife, her dad took care of all the vehicles. Her mom didn't take care of them, so he would go get gas in them. He would do oil changes, take care of all that kind of stuff. And she just grew up on. So we have, so she takes her car to get oil changed. I'm like the bad guy. I'm like, well, just go take it. I'm like, I got shit to do.
Right.
I'm just like, but I didn't. It's something we learned in a relationship is that was always. So if you're single, and I hate to be sexist, but if you're a single woman in your 50s or 60s, you may not want to deal with the maintenance of a vehicle. You may not want to. You don't have that person. Yeah. It's one more thing. You just would rather just not do it.
Oh, I remember my grandmother taking her. Oh God, what she had. Big Chevrolet, man. And she would take it to the local gas station to have the oil change. It was a 2-bay gas station, 2 pumps out front, and they did all the maintenance for her. And yeah, it was always a scary time of what came back of a vehicle because they were never really trained to probably work on vehicles. But final question for you, Tim. Where since we got vehicles going EV and this Bronco, say we have a hybrid Bronco, it's getting to the point where you're going to damn need an electrician to work on your vehicle. Like because you've seen the cables in these things. This is high wattage electricity, and it's getting a little. I don't know that I want the guy that's ASC certified messing and getting electrocuted on a vehicle.
So definitely mechanic becoming more computer savvy, right? So I think it's I think it's unfortunate that kids who growing up that don't like have any interest in computers because you have to work on cars, you have to be computer savvy. That's what's going to be. But what I've said to people is they always want to ask about what's going to be long lasting. To me, an EV is a throwaway appliance. And the reason I say that is because of the copper wiring. And I don't believe that the copper wiring is going to last long enough to make it a lifelong vehicle. I just feel like over time, especially in different parts of the country, right? We have rats that get in there and chew the wiring. You have copper wiring. It gets a little bit of exposure, oxidation. It's brittle. It breaks.
Hey, these guys are worried about there's Broncos being built that are sitting on a lot for 2 months about animals messing with them.
Yeah, and then EVs. I remember talking to a guy in it was the Tahoe, I think it was, new electronic architecture for that, and he was bragging about how many feet of wiring was in the Tahoe, and it was an engineer from General Motors, and I looked at him and I was like, you are freaking stupid. Like I would never brag about how much. I mean, it was like a good I don't know how many feet it was, but it was feet upon feet upon feet of wiring in this thing. And I was like, what a disaster. And people, I mean, my colleagues, so I'm like the ostrich of the group, right? So my colleagues are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, that's just more stuff to break. And do you understand that I can fix an engine, I can fix brakes, but you want me to trace an electrical problem in a vehicle? I would much rather sit here and have you pull my toenails out of my toes than find electrical problem because it's impossible.
It
Like,
is.
my 62, I went and put on 3 new grounds in that truck because I was so sick and damn tired of having a ground issue. So I went and put 3 new grounds on because I was like, that's usually the culprit in most electrical problems is the ground, but also that wiring anywhere it snaps. I replaced all the wiring in my truck so far because it's 60 years old. I'm not going to trust the wiring there. And so I feel like when you get these EVs and you park them in the Arizona sun for summer, when you park them in Saskatchewan in the winter, in the cold, I just really feel like copper wiring is going to be the biggest thing. I think copper wiring is going to be the culprit. I don't care about, people ask me all the time, like, what about battery replacement? It's going to be so expensive. I'm like, well, you know what? Battery replacement is the same as replacing an engine. It's the same cost.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't have a problem. That doesn't bother me at all.
Well, and ultimately too is these vehicles are throwaway vehicles. You get 5 or somebody said the average life of ownership is 5 to 8 years. Well, 8 years the car's in a landfill somewhere that they're crushed and reusing the metal for a new car.
Yeah, but I think what's interesting is like, well, back to like TVs. TVs used to be 10 grand, 50-inch plasma. Now they're $100, right? So now it used to be, oh my God, I'm gonna have to be repaired, service plan kind of stuff. Now I'm gonna buy another and throw it away. I think you're gonna find that with EVs. Once they can find different materials to make the batteries from, I should say it more clearly.
Yeah.
Once they can find new materials to make batteries from, they can make it cheaper. I think you're gonna find EVs will be throwaway vehicles because at some point there's gonna be nobody's driving around in a 20-year-old Model 3.
Yeah.
They're not classic vehicles, right? So, and we've talked about this many times. I don't know if there is a classic vehicle out there, but these EVs aren't going to last. They're just, I just don't see it. Are they fun? Are they cool? Can you smoke? Every Model S I've ever been into, the back tires are bald.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's fun. It's like, I can see that, but it's like, I just don't see it lasting long term. I think the days of million-mile trucks are going to become non-extinct. It's going to be extinct. It's not going to exist anymore.
Yeah. Those stories are hard for you to get, so they're going to get even harder, huh?
They're going to be impossible. I'll find some dude in New Orleans who's got like some, 1976 Ford F-350 or something that grandma drove for 4 decades.
Right. Well, Tim, I greatly appreciate you being on here tonight, buddy. Normally you like an hour and Tim's done. I think this new software has opened up Tim to where, I don't know, I've noticed Tim gets on streams longer. So the ease factor.
And if you guys haven't, please make sure that you check out Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, because Tim has lots of great content on there for you as well.
That's right, man. He's been a good mentor to the channel. We greatly appreciate him. So, Tim, we're going to do some housework in here, and I'm going to let you go for the night. And I appreciate the time, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tim. See you later. Didn't even let him say bye.
I let him say bye.
He was saying bye, and you just were like, click.
So Kelly, I know you've got some housework to do here, as it were. I shouldn't say, I guess, housework, but there, you want to say hi, everybody that did the super chat tonight. I greatly appreciate it.
I got them started.
I know, but I just want to say, when sometimes we get a guest on, I don't want to interrupt the train of thought. And also, we've had well over 120 people in the stream tonight. Smash that like button for me. Literally, that's all I ask. It helps new people find the channel, and I greatly appreciate when you guys do that. So it's Kelly's turn.
Ouch, that was my ear.
I'm sorry. Oh,
I was checking. I couldn't tell if YouTube Car Spotters guy was saying bye to himself or someone else.
I don't know.
Welcome in, by the way. All right, let's go through these super chats. Andy Ackerman, thank you so much for that super chat. Yeah. So about that working order, Bronco. We'll talk more about that. Yeah, obviously Dave can't have anything nice.
Yeah.
I mean, besides some nice single barrel.
That's right. That a viewer sent to us or
gave to us.
Yeah, gave to us at Supercell. I greatly appreciate that. My liver greatly appreciates that.
Or does it?
I don't know. It's processing when I'm asleep.
DR, thank you for that super chat. Says cheers. Hope your Bronco stops peeing on itself soon.
Yes. As long as it doesn't pee on my tree, we're good.
Same. I hope it stops peeing.
Or mess up our
soon.
driveway.
Yes. John Burnett, $10. Thank you. Do we just GoFundMe? Hopefully it's covered on. It's going to be covered under warranty, is what they're going to do.
Oh, Mama Bear over here would be pissed off. Like,
you have not seen a Karen until you've seen me when it comes to trying to screw me over.
Mm-hmm. This is what happens when you drive with the top down in the snow. Yes. Then it's premature wear. And what I'm hearing is they're saying it's a pinion. They think it's the pinion bearing /seal. But my only concern is the clicking that I heard with this thing. That is a big concern for me with the because I don't want them to band-aid this thing, and then especially if we're going 4,000 miles trip and then suddenly we're in Moab where there is no Ford dealership, and
and then we can't get home.
Then we're flying home with our Bronco out in Colorado.
Empishow, thank you for that super chat. 666, bringing it in. Dave, if you want to highway your vehicle, you can improve mileage tremendously by getting lighter rims and tires and a free flow exhaust.
The exhaust is coming. Probably late summer.
This may have been answered in the chat. NDM84. So the Raptor is only about 200 pounds lighter than the F-150 Raptor. If the combined fuel economy for both vehicles is 15 miles per gallon, can't we expect the Raptor to have at least 435 horsepower and 494? Why do I feel like I just read a math?
We don't do math around here.
What's that thing called?
If I leave at certain train stations.
It's like that's how I felt like I just read.
I'm hearing 420s is what I'm hearing for the horsepower. I'm still curious why Ford hasn't released this, and they're building these vehicles as we speak. But next March, the Ranger Raptor is being built.
Are we there yet? Thank you for that super chat. Hey guys, finally got my Badlands. Only had to wait 6 months. Congratulations.
Congratulations, buddy. And nice short wait. I know there's others been. Mobile's been waiting forever, and he's been pushed like 6 times now. Oh, Bill Potter says have a shot.
Hold on. I didn't get to that one. You gotta share.
I'm sorry.
Where is it?
Here.
Trying to drive with my left hand is challenging. Thank you for that super chat, Bill Potter. I gotta pour another shot.
I know, jeez. It's like dance, monkey, dance.
I know. Andrea said there's actually a Ford dealership in Moab. They actually have 2 Badlands on the lot. How much are they going for over sticker?
I couldn't remember if they had any dealerships in Moab. I'm generally not, when I'm in Moab, the last thing I want to see is a dealership. 620 or bus, Mobile says. Bronco Wild Outdoor says 445 with 510 torque on the Bronco Raptor. Could be right.
Let's see. And Andrea Paradiso for that super chat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
From Arizona.
Thank you, ma'am. Once again, guys, if you would smash that like button for me, it's all I ask.
Let's see. Brad Shea is in the house. Welcome in,
Hopefully
sir.
Brad's still here. Brad, sorry I saw that. I was just in the middle of conversation.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to say hello.
Thanks for joining in.
Jody Nichols says I was driving on 94 this
Jody,
past weekend.
who texted me this week to reassure me that she was a she and not a dude.
She was a she. I told you. I just knew.
Thought it was fun that she texted and reassured that. And thank you.
I told you she was a she.
I was driving on 94 this past weekend. Had a Raptor in my rear view mirror for a bit. Looks mean with the lights. He pulled up next to me side by side going about 80. He hit the gas and literally left me in my dust.
With a friendly wave.
That's right.
Sounds about right.
So Bronco Wild Outdoors has a Raptor on order.
Does everybody know that?
Yeah, he's talked about it on the show many times. I'm curious if they gave him any numbers.
So Matt Watt says, dude, my diff is leaking from the same spot, but in the shop for over a month.
Yeah, that's
what we're afraid of.
And that's what As sucky as this sounds, like, because we both have scheduled vacations, which I can always take mine off the calendar.
I can take mine off the calendar too.
It's
it just sucks for our daughter for one.
Yeah, it's like because by the time we'll have press events and stuff we start this fall going to, and she can't be involved in those. And yeah, it was that Griswold's family vacation. You know, we were in the family truckster.
Kevin GR says, Ford.
Yeah.
Has Ford said something about not possibly not being able to complete all the Broncos they have sitting on Dirt Mountain?
Well, I have a rumor going around that I keep hearing that some of those Broncos that are sitting around are not chip issues, but they are turbo issues.
Oh, I've heard that too.
And
probably from the same crowd.
Probably. But I don't know whether that's true or not, and that's why I haven't done a WTF or anything on it, because I want a couple sources on that one. I'm not throwing the old balls out there for the Groot.
He said that earlier, though.
I know.
Probably didn't see enough dirt miles and got mad and started peeing a little.
Probably. Or it heard your name and was like scared that you would drive it and try to baja through off-road trails.
Hey.
Well, no, he took my
him, not us.
No, he took the Xterra out and he was trying to drive it like through the mountains of Windrock like it was dunes of California.
Adam Weber says, Kelly, how do you feel about your Bronco being broken?
Yes, Kelly, how do you really feel about this?
Now you ask me. Adam asked me right before I told them how I felt about the Bronco being broken. I'm really sad about it, actually. Like, I miss her. I miss driving her. I miss driving her in the 90-degree weather this weekend. That was real nice.
Yeah, Miss Lazy over here. We have the Jeep with the removable roof, and
it's a hard top
three
removable.
switches on each one, and the middle top's gone. And she was like, "No, it's just too much work."
Well, it was because it was kind of trying to be overcast. So if I did have to pull over, I'd have to completely pull over.
So you're seeing the benefits now of a soft top, and
we've talked about this. We've talked about this for a long time.
And I'm trying to get a best top on this thing because, I'm just falling. I love the soft top, but I'm falling out of love of trying to reinstall those back windows on the soft top.
I did it by myself the other day with no problems.
I didn't say it can't be done. I'm just saying it's just difficult. What if a rainstorm come in and you're like, oh shit, I got to get those back on there? That would be a motherfucker.
But it's also probably not going to be as easy to do everything else in it either.
I don't know what kind of things we're going to do.
This is not Sweet Potato Live.
Okay. Not yet. There's time.
Martin says, what are your thoughts on the piggyback tuners for the 2.7? I've been looking at them, never used them. Seems legit, but again, never had any experience with them. Also, which one would you go for?
I would wait for the Ford Performance Tune. I haven't heard a release date. I know it's out ready to go, or I won't say ready to go. It's out and dealers know about it. So if dealers know about it, usually they're close to releasing it.
So speaking of that,
wait,
go ahead.
But as far as I'm not a big fan of piggyback tuners. They don't obviously they don't corrupt your system and you can unplug it, take it to the dealership, and all is right with the world. I just don't always think they truly offer what you think they offer. I know some of and I know this isn't really a tuner, but like the pedal commander crap, it just plays with throttle response, and that's about it. And people think, oh, my vehicle is just so much more peppy with these things. And it's like, no, it just literally is controlling the way the sensitivity of the throttle. So
piggybacking on the tuner conversation. See what I did there? I'm taking these off. We don't need these anymore. We don't have Tim.
All
right. Piggybacking on that conversation, Ford Performance has these tuners coming out, right?
They already, I believe, for 2.3 is already out because it's for the Ranger.
So is it going to be covered under factory warranty if it's found that the tuner screwed something up?
No, because what they do is it doesn't, with the ECU, it doesn't get in there and leave that it was there.
Mm-hmm.
So
it doesn't leave a trail. It's got to leave a trail.
No, it doesn't. They don't know that you use those unless some dealer or some tech can come in and tell me otherwise. My understanding is it doesn't leave a trail of this. So you don't, and most of them, you're pretty safe about they're not taking your vehicle to the edge of the limits. It's not like us
Just
going.
thoughts.
It's not less like us taking the juke down to Z1,
Z1.
where they're physically getting in the brain of the computer and adjusting, oxygen levels and stuff like that. No, it's
Mobile
nothing like
Moto
that.
says they could tell.
Maybe I did. And it's a part that I don't exactly know everything about.
And that's my thoughts is like, because we've kind of talked about different things that other people are doing to their vehicles. And we're like, let's hold off a second.
Well, and so I asked our Ford tech, because they were like, hey man, have you seen those new Bronc Buster braces for these things? And I'm like, guys, you shouldn't be like, this is the one part, like, you shouldn't be like, hey man, I'm going to buy that, because that's like admitting you work for the dealer of going, hey, this thing's shit. Maybe I need to brace my tie rod. But and I was talking to him about it, and I literally had him sitting there in the dash, and I was like, yeah, here they are. I said, I just hadn't put them on yet. And I said, where do your guys' feelings with the spacer? I said, how do you guys handle that? Because I said, with the spacer, my concern is the rack blows for some other reason. The tech digs into it and sees that spacer in there, and he's
then
like,
they justify,
and they're like, hey, this isn't a factory part. This caused it, because they're always looking for reasons to
right.
deny.
They don't want to cover it.
Right. Well, I mean, ultimately Ford pays for it and they get reimbursed, but it is in their best interest also they don't want to piss Ford off and constantly claim. So they were like, well, it's down to the dealership. He said it's down to the service writer, and he said really it's down to that tech that actually worked on that, what their opinion is on some of that stuff. So jury's out with that part of it to me. The braces, I'm all about using those braces, because why not? They don't hurt anything to put on there, but I don't know about taking the rack apart to do that.
My main conversations were about foreskin.
Foreskin?
Yeah.
No, they know about foreskin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
will cut foreskin off in a heartbeat.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. You don't mess with the foreskin.
Really?
Foreskin, I'm sorry.
I can't even with you.
I know.
NDM 84 says leather or vinyl, and why? Vinyl.
Yeah, I'm
all day for me.
Is it what do you even? I can't remember on the Lux package. Say you wanted a Badlands Lux package. Can you get the vinyl seats with that? Or are you stuck with leather? I haven't looked into this stuff in a while.
I don't remember.
I like the marine grade vinyl a lot. I couldn't tell you if it was vinyl or whatever. It doesn't feel cheap. It sits comfortably.
It doesn't burn as much as leather has in the past, but I don't know if it burns as much as this specific leather would.
It seems to. I mean, we've only had ours since November, so we had it 6 months now.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you if there's any quality issues. I know there's a batch of them going around with half of half of its cloth and half of its the vinyl, which is I keep hearing about UAW quality, man. And then
speaking of
that stuff pops up.
Lone Wolf says vinyl for me, but I just found a strip of cloth on the driver's seat. It's not there on the passenger side.
Yep. Take it back. Take it to that dealership. And the only bummer is Ford will send out the new marine grade vinyl. And our buddy Bob Matthews, who I interviewed a long time ago. So when they recovered his seats, like you could kind of tell a little bit that it wasn't as tight as you would probably hoped it should be.
Brady says yes, has a bad SAS with Lux and MGV.
Oh, nice. I apologize. I'm not knowing. I haven't looked at that in a long time.
Yeah, totally vinyl for me. It has seemed to hold up much better than I expected. Like Dave said, we've only had ours for about 6 months.
It held up better than the opinion seal.
We had leather in our Titan. And as much as I liked the leather, it still was. I feel like the marine grade vinyl is,
I think long-term
heavier duty.
Better.
Yeah. I think in the long term it is. I'm also not worried when I spill something. I'm not as worried.
Too soon.
I'm not as worried when I spill something as I would in leather or those types of things.
Mobile says you got to keep your foreskin clean. That is true.
I shouldn't have even
asked.
It is true.
True.
Shouldn't have even asked the question because I can't even handle you all.
I will say though, the marine grade vinyl, the Badlands, so we get the darker colors.
Yeah.
I look at Luke's Black Diamond, which we had on order, and I see the colors they've used, and I'm just like, yeah.
Wow, you just said that, and he's
No,
here
I'm not.
tonight.
I'm not. Like, I like the darker version of it better than the two-tone version he has.
And Kevin says, "Stop using the word Karen." That's my wife's name.
I'm sorry, Karen. I apologize.
Kevin.
No, I'm apologizing to his wife, Karen.
I was like, whoa.
Karen, and from following you on Instagram, Kevin, your wife seems like you seem like an awesome couple in general.
Teslas are throwaway vehicles.
That is true. Yes, Ford colors are in the interior are a mess. Like the Bronco has been a head scratcher. I don't get some of the choices.
And I'm just going to have to call it and say hello to everyone this evening.
Hello,
I appreciate
everyone.
you being here. I have seen everybody's name, and
Tim come in like a rocket, man.
He did, because you know what? You should have I told you. What you need to do is you need to like say hello and be like, Kelly's going to say hello to everybody, and then we're going to bring in our guest. Like I told you,
okay,
that's what you need to do, but you don't ever do it.
Force can be unhealthy, Overland for fun says.
Wow. Adam Huskin says, bummer on your truck. I did finally get mine on May 29th. Got the best stop on and loving it. Congratulations.
Nice, man. May 29th.
That's what it says.
It's the 23rd.
I did finally get mine on May 29th. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, maybe April 29th?
Maybe
April.
Maybe he's a future guy.
Maybe.
He came back a few days.
Andy said this is the best part of the show right before Dave gets on.
Man, Andy, busting my balls.
Jessica Dunn said hashtag Monday Magic with Kelly and Dave.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Brian Slick says hello. Nathan Cross, hello.
In Price. Let's see what he says here. Evening, everyone. Bronco is on the railroad. Had a stop in Tennessee last night. In Bama tomorrow.
Birmingham.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Awesome, man. We'll go keep it company. How about that? Since we don't have one right now, we'll go say hi to it.
Nathan Cross said hello. Overlanding for Fun said Dave needs a watch.
I have a watch.
Dalton Deere, Greg Lawson, and Peugeot, of course. YouTube Car Spotters Guide, Adam Weber, 4 High, 4 Low. Valley Dude 5000, Da Vinci in the house, Mark King, John Burnett, Cincy Cycles. So how's the Bronco? This was early.
I was gonna say
Bronco 78, hello in.
And part of tonight's title was we had a good run. Yeah. Was we had a pretty no problems with the thing. And I mean, other
pretty
than
good
just
to us.
A couple little like the lock light, which I need to mention to those guys, but not before Moab, because maybe they'd be like, well, that's
a safety issue.
Yeah, it's a safety issue, and we can't leave this thing for 10 months. Yeah. Sorry.
Kyle in the house, Kevin Monet, we said hello. Nurse AJ, Flo.
Jay Zen says, what happened to the all ladies ATN show? I'm waiting for this one to organize it.
Yeah, I gotta find the crew. I gotta get all the crew. Right, yeah. You gotta figure out what we're gonna talk about, all that fun stuff.
You've got the touch.
Oops. No.
Mobile says might have to put the heat on the RV tonight.
Sorry guys, I'm going through making sure I say hello to everyone.
Yeah, we had a cold spell here, Mobile.
Hello, Ace. Dave, I just took delivery of my 2022 Bronco. 640 days. 2022 Wild Track Oxford White. Congratulations.
Nice. Ace, if you're still on here, was that new or old?
That was 811.
Well, if you were on here, I'm curious if you got the hard top or soft top.
Blueford, hello.
What's up, Terrence Mooney?
502 Bourbon Crew, which we said hello and goodbye.
Becky is ready, Dwayne says.
All right. I gotta get it organized. I gotta talk to Becky.
John says it's 61 in Smyrna.
Hey, Dwayne, you need to have Becky text me because I only have your number, I think. So have her text me. You have my number. So we can get Becky together. Tim Corney in the house.
So Jason Boyd says, sorry, what's wrong with y'all's Bronco? He's late. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to rewind, sir. And no, but there is a
Coder Man in the house.
Potential gear oil coming out of the diff. And quick assessment is it's probably the pinion bearing and seal, which is I've heard of a handful of this issue. So there you go. Terrence, you're going to be in Nashville in June, probably when we're gone to Moab. We'll just cross country.
Supposed to.
Yeah, well, when we're supposed to. Terrence, what are you coming to Nashville for, buddy?
DR says, well, Dave, tell Ford to ship all your viewers their Broncos and they will get amazing press on your channel. Shall we put this to a vote?
I'm pretty sure I know the answer to that vote.
Honest in the house this evening.
There was someone said on one of the Facebook groups today that their Bronco was shipped to their dealership. They sat in their Bronco. It was going to inspection, and then they were told by Ford to put the truck back on the truck, and it had to go right back to Michigan.
Do what?
Yes, and then supposedly like 5 days later, it showed back up. So I think it was a chip issue that it didn't get the chip put in it.
And yet they put it on a truck and put it here.
And because it has to be, it has to something about, there was something about the UAW was involved, like the whole negotiation of how to handle this down a few months ago. It has to be put on by a UAW employee. So dealers don't want to deal with it.
G. Willikers in the house.
So it was shipped the vehicle back to Michigan. And then it showed right back up a few days later. The guy sold it. So he sold his car to the dealer because
he thought it was here.
It was here. They were making the deal. It was going through inspections. They gave him a loaner vehicle, a brand new car as a loaner vehicle for the 4 days or whatever it was going to take to get it back. Yeah, it was. I don't know whether I believe it or not, but I have no reason to not believe it. Will Ford Everest Bronco with a fixed top and Maverick face be coming to the U.S.? No, sadly. I think it looks really cool. I think Ford's got a problem now of where would you stack that in the scheme of things? I like the Everest. I think especially the new version looks really good. But they're running out of like. So they've got a Bronco. You've got kind of the mom and pop, the whatever. I can't think of their SUVs at the time. But they have like 3 or 4 SUVs. I don't know where you bring another one in that's body on frame, especially because Cafe Regs would just probably. We're lucky here in the United States to have anything body on frame anymore. That's a horrible gas guzzler.
Jay Zen says looking forward to my Bronco to break. Not.
I know. I mean, you hear stuff 2.7s. You know, there was that article from who was it? I can't think of the horrible Jalopnik or whatever. Like dozens of 2.7s have exploded, and you're like, dozens out of how many?
Right. Yeah, that's to me, that's ridiculous.
And there's probably dozens of this diff issue, and I hate to see, like, I'm not like, once again, I'm not upset about it. I need the vehicle for the trip, but at the same point, I mean, these are first world problems that, you know, in this day and age, like, lucky to have the Bronco. You guys know a lot of you are still waiting on them.
Bird Dog Overland said, been waiting over 3 months for a part to fix my rear locker. 3 different parts, all delivered damaged.
Yep. His rear locker came from the factory not working.
And G. Willikers, it's the front diff that we anticipate is leaking.
Ray says Ventrac now being shipped 6/6/22 delivery. Iconic silver Badlands. Nice. Very, very nice. Oh, CMA. Terrence is coming to CMA.
Nice.
Kelly, we used to work for CMA.
Yep, I did. And Peugeot says loaner car Mitchell Watts might let you have a Ford GT Carbon series.
Oh, I bet old Mitchell let me get. He's told me he would give me a ride in that thing, but, and do a little revies, but that's about it. That's my dream. If I could buy one sports car right now, that would be the GT.
Of course, Lifestyle Off-Road was in here causing ruckus. Ronnie Roberts. I think I'm almost there. Bill Potter.
Colorado's own Bill Potter.
Craig is in the house. Got my Badlands 2 weeks ago, winning. Congratulations.
Nice. Awesome.
Bill Potter said Nebraska is slightly better than Kansas.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Flying is a lot better than all of it, but I can't put my Bronco in the back of the plane.
It's a true story.
I guess there's a price for everything, though.
Yeah, but
and can't afford are two different things.
That's true. I think I'm almost there, guys. I just want to say hello to everybody. You know how this goes.
The Pantera was a badass rig, man.
They're wanting the Coyote.
Of course, everybody wants that V8.
Of course, they had to make fun of your shortness.
I saw them poking at me. Tiny Nation or something, and
yes,
all Tiny
asking
Nation.
If I was making fun of you for your shortness, and I said you're only about a quarter inch shorter.
Hey, quarter inch matters.
But
you know what? I like hot moms. Take that.
Can't wait to see what the comments are on that one.
Oh, I saw a few. They're not for prime time.
I'm sure.
Thanks, Andy.
Of course, NDM84 is in the house.
Come on, fingers, go faster.
Well, I have to look too. Is the problem? Like it's not just about scrolling.
The off-road community, however, it was made Brazilian made, didn't meet U.S. requirements for safety. I guess he's still talking about the Everest. Terrence Moody is 5'7", around the same height, somewhere in there. Hot grandmas. That's what she said.
I'm
like I was telling Tim though, I'm ultimately pretty excited for the Ranger Raptor. We may get it, see one, and be like, oh, hey, we got Cigar Texan in the house. He's been a member for 6 months.
Man,
thank you,
6
sir.
months. We got to get on that 6-month reward.
I know. Oh well, I ordered it. I ordered those.
How'd you order them? I handle all that.
You paid for them the other day at the field.
That wasn't what the plan was.
We were talking about that.
No, that wasn't.
Anyways.
That wasn't what we planned or what they asked for.
Man, we haven't seen Cigar Texan in a while.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's been a minute.
You know, and members, we appreciate the $5 pledge a month. We do greatly appreciate that. And I want to say I appreciate all the super chats, guys. You guys have YouTube cut our funding January 1. The ad rates just took a nosedive, and I don't know if they were bumping up the rates because of the vid or what, but your super chats have helped fund the channel, so I greatly appreciate that stuff very much. Get time for a couple more. I wear my lanyard every day.
Aw. Woo! Juan Diaz says, day one reservation holder finally getting my Bronco from dealer after some body work repair since it was delivered.
Yikes. Thanks, Tim. I don't think you offering up Cigar Texan's Bronco is going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, Cigar Texan, we're flying to Texas to come take your Bronco to Moab.
Sorry. Tim said we could.
Yep.
YouTube turning creators into e-beggars. Did I?
Yeah, you volunteered your Bronco.
Yeah, didn't you know that?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, Lone Wolf.
We'll send you another one.
I'll get you another one. Message me your address.
Keep it away from the dog. Keep it away from the dog. Go to allterrainnation.com and message us, and we'll send you another one.
Flo, I'm not wearing a skirt anyway. That'd be Dave wearing the skirt in Moab.
Yeah, no, that skirt comment was for me wearing it.
Yeah, that's for him wearing it.
Because it would be funny. It would be funny.
And no, I don't voluntarily break the Bronco. I don't.
It would be a tribute.
Yeah, I don't. I'm respectful to my Bronco, and I take it where she deserves to go, and I treat her with respect. So
no, she doesn't. She
yes, I do too.
Smash the pedal. And
she likes it when I go fast on the road. She does.
There you go.
She likes it when I go fast on the road.
There you go.
I only send it on the road though.
Oh. Well, because it hasn't
Bronco
been able...
78 says send it.
No comment.
It is. We're at 8,600 miles.
Yeah.
She's open.
Yeah, ours is getting a little change. Hopefully, while it's there.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it. We're gonna check the plugs, make sure they plug it back right. See, yours likes to go fast too, Cigar Tex, and we're match made in heaven with our Broncos.
There you go.
We'll be there to pick it up.
That's right.
On June 11th. We'll pick it up from Texas on June 11th.
Oh. I've been a member for what?
He's been a member longer than 3 months.
It says you've been a member for 6 months.
Yeah, it says 6 months. I need to go back in and check everybody's membership.
Got to keep the turbos running good. That is true. That is true. Honest.
Oh, that was... Nope, never mind.
So Weatherby 2-wheel drive, guys.
Are you ending it right now? You're not saying last questions?
4-wheel drive.
You're not even calling for last
what
questions.
You drive, because this has been your All-Terrain Nation. And I'm your host, David, and along with Miss Kelly Boyd.
Wow, you just totally like shut them all off and everything. Like
I looked at what time it was.
And thank you for the super chat, by the way, Lone Wolf. We totally just avoided the fact that you did a super chat because we were concerned about your lanyard.
I said thank you.
Okay.
But yeah, get with us and we'll send one out for you.
Says, I think Ford should name each Bronco and send a birth certificate like the old Cabbage Patch Kids. That would be kind of fun.
That would make your day. No,
that would totally make.
Don't name my vehicle. I'll name my vehicle, though. Maybe you apply for the name.
Yeah.
That would be. And then they send you the little metal plaque.
Yeah, that would be fun. Like the first editions do.
Or the broken editions. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.
Bye, guys.
See y'all tomorrow night for the happy hour.
See ya.